Have you ever heard someone speak and you think, man, they really meant that? Like, that was powerful. And it's not just what they said, it was how they said it, right? That's the power of conviction. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You don't need to be the loudest voice in the room, you just need to be the most convinced, right? So here's the big idea for today. Conviction leads to intentional communication. Conviction leads to intentional communication. Myron Golden teaches that if you don't have a clear intention behind your words or actions, you'll be ineffective. He says the intention behind your communication determines the transformation it produces. Watch this. If your message, your talk, your speech, if it doesn't move you, it probably won't move them. Does that make sense? So today, I want to teach you 4 things, 4 points, 4 truths about conviction. Would that be helpful? All right, let's get started. Number 1, conviction starts in your heart. Before your message reaches their ears, it has to come through your heart. You don't need hype, you need heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, is what the Bible says, right? So what does that mean for us, for just normal everyday folks, for business leaders, ministry leaders, pastors, speakers, preachers, teachers? What does that mean for us? Well, I'm glad you asked. That's what we're going to talk about. Like, you may know what you should say. You may know what you're supposed to say. You may know what people want to hear, or maybe what they need to hear. But if you've got some bitterness, some anger, some pride, some past pain in your heart, it's going to show up in how you speak. Now, that can be a good thing if you learn how to use it. Because if you use what you've been through to speak life into others, it can become powerful and you can really impact people's lives in a good way. But you've got to understand and know what's in your heart, and then know how to use that to be intentional and speak with conviction. And this is one of the things I love to talk about, one of the things I love to go deeper into in my coaching program. It's how we use what we've got and what we've been through so that we can impact and shift and change mindsets in our audience or our congregation or the people we're leading. So you don't need to be flashy, you need to be real. You don't need to be louder, you just need to be more convinced. People can feel when it's real, right? I mean, do you agree? Like, raise your hand if, I can't see your hands, but if I could, raise your hand if you agree. Like, people need to know and feel that you're real, that what you're saying is real, and it comes from your energy, it comes from your tone, it comes from your passion, your emotions, your tears, your joy, your laughter, your enthusiasm, your tension, your pain. Conviction is not about hype, it's about heart. It starts in the heart. Number 2, conviction feels like compassion. Think about it. Jesus didn't speak truth. He carried it. He carried it wherever he went. In Matthew 9:36, there's a great verse that says he had compassion for the crowds, for those who were lost, those who were broken, those who were like sheep without a shepherd. He had compassion for them, like a deep yearning compassion that moved him. That's the kind of conviction we should have. A compassion like Jesus has, because Jesus wept. He healed. He flipped tables. Like, he did some crazy things, but his message wasn't robotic. It was rooted in emotion and mission. Rooted in emotion and mission. Truth wrapped in compassion hits differently. Would you agree? When your message is soaked in love, people don't just hear you. People don't just hear you. They feel you. Like, they feel like they've been seen and understood when you speak truth and compassion. That's what people need. They need the truth. They need something real. Like, enough of the fast-moving, quick cuts, 60-second reels and all the things going on. That's why I started going live again, because I just want to be real. I mean, I got some notes over here, but I'm just kind of winging it, and this is live, so I can't go back and fix it or cut it up or edit it or put in a bunch of crazy captions and make all these B-rolls and things flying in. It's just me sitting at my desk speaking to you about conviction, because I want you to feel seen and understood. And so I'm speaking to an individual person today. I just don't know who you are because I can't see you. If you drop a comment, maybe I would. But number 3, conviction moves from head to heart. You may read something or see something or hear something and think, man, that would be a great topic to speak on. That's what my team needs. That's what my congregation needs. That's what people in my life need. And it might seem like it's a great sermon title or a great message title, and you want to use that. Like, that would be great. Like, that's what people need to hear or do. Anybody ever thought that when you come across something? But listen to me. If it hasn't moved you, it probably won't move them. You may have the perfect outline, a clever title, a theologically deep message, but if it doesn't come from your heart, it's just noise. And we got enough noise already out there in social media and online, right? We don't need any more noise. We need more intentional communication. Head knowledge informs, but heart conviction transforms. When your message passes through you, it carries weight, because you're not just sharing truth, you've lived it. You've lived it. There was an old saying that says, you can't have a message if you haven't been through a mess, or you can't have a testimony, I think is what it said also, if you haven't been through a test. Don't come to me talking about what I should do if you haven't done it. Don't come talking to me about what I need to listen to or change or take into account if you haven't been through something and got this revelation or got this truth that you're speaking about. I used to only preach the text and maybe give some context and some theology and threw in some good stories, and it seemed like it was a good message, but it didn't really impact anybody. It didn't really move anybody because it was just information. But when I learned to connect the text to their real life problems, it changed the game. It changed the game. So whoever you're speaking to, what's their problem? What's the result they need? And then how do you communicate it in a way that actually speaks to them, that gets them excited, that gets them to listen and to hear what you have to say so that they can start to think about it differently? That's what transformational communication is. It's not just information. It's inspiration that transforms a congregation, a people, a person, a spouse, what have you. Ask yourself this question. If this message could save someone's life, how would I say it? Because sometimes it is life or death. Conviction is when the message goes through you before it goes to them. I often say that message was for me before it was for anybody else. Before I speak or teach or preach or anything, it always hits me first. And I think that's where the passion comes from. And that's why I get emotional a lot when I speak or preach, because it's already ministered to me. The message has already hit me. God gave it to me for me, and then I just want to give it to somebody else because I don't want to just hold on to it all. I got to release it so I can get in some more, right? Sometimes you got to give in order to get. And so I give it, but it first has to hit us. Number 4, conviction equals passion plus certainty. Conviction is confidence with fire. Mark chapter 1 verse 22 says the people were amazed at his teaching because he, Jesus, taught them as one who had authority. He had authority, and they were just amazed at how he spoke with such confidence, such conviction, such passion, such authority. He didn't second guess his words. He embodied them. Man. I mean, if you want to look up the greatest communicator, you could look at Les Brown, you could look at Jim Rohn, you could look at Eric Thomas, and I don't know, I'm drawing a blank. You could look for all these great speakers and motivational communicators, but if you just go back to the Bible, if you just pick up the Bible and just start reading about the Gospels and what Jesus said and how he communicated, that's all you need to be a good communicator. Because he gave us the best example of communication. Conviction is confidence with fire. Ordinary speakers deliver content. Convicted communicators deliver change. Change. Somebody in your life might need change. This world definitely could use some change. So we need to be communicators that are communicating in a way that changes our world, our environment, our communities. Right? Your audience doesn't need a speech. They need a shift. And conviction is what makes the difference. When you believe it, they'll feel it. When you believe it, they'll feel it. You gotta believe in yourself and the message before anybody else can even feel it, let alone believe it. I believe anyone can give a talk, but not everyone can give a message. However, hold on, I do believe anyone can give a message if they learn how to be intentional with their words by using the 4 truths that we just talked about. Intentional communication starts with conviction. When your message flows from your heart, burns with compassion, lands with transformation, and speaks with authority, that's the power of conviction. And one last little pro tip. Before you speak, don't just ask, is my outline ready? Am I prepared? Do I have all my notes, my bullet points over here? Ask, am I convinced this is true? And will it impact and change lives? Thanks so much for joining me today. If you want to preach and speak with that kind of fire and conviction, that's exactly what I help people do inside my coaching and upcoming masterclass. So DM me FIRE, the word FIRE, or hit the link in my bio to get the details. Y'all have a great day. It's Good Friday. Be blessed. We'll see you next week.